Hey everybody, welcome to TnSportsChat presented by Lehigh Valley Health Network. I'm Patrick Matzinko along with Emmett McCall. Coming off of a busy couple of days with league track meets, the Colonial League, Eastern Pennsylvania Conference, and Schuylkill League took place on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we had a whole lot of success across all three leagues.
Yes, we did, and it was something new for the Schuylkill League. The East Penn Conference and Colonial League have been doing the two-day format for a few years now. Schuylkill League switched to it this year. You get to cover it. I think it probably is the best
I
way
like
to go.
it, because then you're not just, it's kind of not like a rapid fire, throwing all these events at you. And I'm sure the kids enjoy it too, where if you have a prelim and then a final the following day, it kind of gives you that little bit of a time to just sort of maybe regroup, come back. And you saw it, especially just thinking about the Colonial League with Palmerton's Jordan Nelson, got through, the prelims in the 110 hurdles, ran a pretty good time, but just did what he had to do to get to the finals, came back for the finals, dropped his time by over a second, won it with a time of 15.7 flat after it's like a 16.85 in the prelims.
To drop it a second in an event that short, that's pretty crazy.
But again, I mean, we had Jordan Nelson winning, we had Palmerton's Jake Martinez pick up really two gold medals with two really, really impressive and just well-run races in the Colonial League 800 and the 1600. He went under 2 minutes in the 800, which is phenomenal, and he went under 4:30 in the 1600. And I had a chance to talk to Jake about his performances.
A culmination of a lot of hard work. I got to thank the other guys out there like Thomas, Colin, and Ethan. Those guys have been like my role models throughout high school, and to be able to race with them one last time has been awesome. And it was hard. It was really hard, but I honestly didn't think I even ran that fast. So to come out like that was fantastic. I just wanted to edge under 4:30, and so this whole season I haven't really been able to get close to that so far. So I was like, let's see what happens, and I hung with Thomas, and he pushed me so hard. Once again, couldn't be able to do it without them, and just came across the line. I couldn't believe it. It was just a great day. Really, this is a 10-second PR on the season. So to be able to pull that off now, it's just been fantastic, and shows I'm definitely my fitness is where it needs to be. I also think my coaches, my team, without them, won't be able to do it without them. They push me every day, and my coach has been with me through the ups and downs of the season, and without them, I definitely would not even be close to being here.
Go Jake! Go Jake!
That was Palmerton's Jake Martinez talking about his big day on Wednesday at the Colonial League meet. He definitely seems like he's primed to do really well at districts next week.
And that's the other thing about the league formats, how they have it now. They basically set it up to mimic the way it's set up at districts, which is nice for all the kids. They get to know what events they're doing the first day, what prelims they're running, and then it'll be the same format at districts, which will be helpful for everybody.
Yeah, and for the Colonial League and the EPC kids, they'll be back at Whitehall next week too. So you kind of get a little bit
same track.
Yeah,
right. Schuylkill League was at Blue Mountain this week, and now they'll all be at Whitehall too. So.
But Jake was one of many really great performances. We also had Northern Lehigh's Robert Schaff win the Colonial League boys title in the triple jump, hitting 44 feet, which is a school record. He was pretty excited about that, obviously. I think it was better than he was hoping for, and I got a chance to talk to Robert about his performance and to get his thoughts heading into districts next week.
Coming into this event, I was really looking forward to it. Had my mindset on that school record, just trying my best to get up there. My first couple jumps had iffies in the prelims, but finals I brought it all together and brought out the new school record. All throughout the day I was thinking 43, 44, I'll be happy with the 43. Haven't hit a 42 lately, but put my goal up pretty high to set a standard. It gives a lot of confidence now, knowing that I'm coming back next week for districts. I know what I can do here, and I'm pretty comfortable with trying to do it again. Definitely wanting to get another 44, qualify for states is definitely my huge goal for next week.
That was Robert Schaff talking about his win, the Colonial League boys triple jump. He definitely is excited to get back to Whitehall next week for districts. On the first day of competition at the Colonial League meet, we had the Northwestern girls place first in the 3200 relay. A lot of those girls are coming off of successful cross-country seasons. Molly Tarvin, Madeline Consuelos, Alyssa Zach. There are a lot of girls there that I think are also motivated to kind of prove themselves again and show again that Northwestern is still kind of a
Kings of
power.
the district, distance runners. Yeah, so a lot of familiar names that you just read off there.
But next week they will be 3A, I believe. So you're going to be throwing in a lot of different competition, like the Eastons, the Stroudsburgs. A lot of big schools. So it certainly doesn't get any easier going into districts next week.
That is true.
But in the Schuylkill League, we had a ton of big
we had a
performances.
really good showing. Jim Thorpe boys had a strong showing. They won the team title, I think, first time since 2010 they were able to do that. Had 4 individual first, had a relay first. Just had a lot of really top performances. Jaron Geisinger won the 100, Sam Hydro won the 1600, Jason Scott was the discus champ, and who am I forgetting? Debbie Lloyd won the pole vault. Really good performance by Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, and they showed it all throughout the season. Team title, regular season. They knocked off Blue Mountain there at the end, and for the Division I crown. So that's a team that obviously built well to do well in the dual meet season, but showed obviously that they have the studs and the horses to be able to to thrive in the postseason individually as well.
They did do that. Had a couple other top performances in the Schuylkill League. Tina Caparel again was double winner, 816. She just continues to shine. I don't think she's lost the meet this year, dual meet, and
can't ask for much more. I mean, especially as a senior, she's going to Delaware next year, Division I program.
Coming off a state cross country title.
That senior year so far has been, I think, about as well. It's been kind of all you could hope for in terms of trying to script it. But she's been doing really well.
We had Isabel Mekas of Lehigh was the discus champ. She did that on the first day of the 2-day event. Who else? Lehigh had another
Isabella Baca in the pole vault. I believe the school record there. So, but again, and you're seeing this where these kids are continuing to kind of take steps forward and continue to get better as we're hitting the, they're hitting their stride as we're getting into the postseason.
Tamir Spencer of Lehigh was the 200-meter champ. Him and Geisinger Jaron have had some really good duels this year. 100 and 200 in some of the invites that both teams have been at, and in their dual meet too. So that's turned out to be a really nice competition, and they both came out with a goal in the Schuylkill League meet.
So there's a lot to look forward to, going into districts next week across all 3 of our leagues. So that'll be next Tuesday and Wednesday at Whitehall, and definitely looking forward to getting back after it and seeing who will make that trip to SHIP this year. So hopefully we have
in one we mentioned, we forgot another individual champ in the Schuylkill League was Khalid Holland of Tamaqua, won the pole vault.
He's had another really nice season. I mean, he's did well at the. I'm thinking about the Blue Raider invite at Tamaqua. He did really well there. So he's and they've had a run of successful pole vaulters. I mean, I'm thinking about Pierce Demetriadis, and on the girls' side too. I mean, you've had Shayna Brinkworth do well. A few years ago, you had Morgan Boyle do pretty well, going to states. So there have been there's been a lot of success just thinking about that event, just like javelin for years and years. It's something that they're just sort of known for. But
all in all, really good performance by our Schuylkill League teams in the meet on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week.
And well-rounded too. I mean, on the track, in the field, throwing, jumping. It was kind of sort of all across the board. So a lot to look forward to next week in districts. But we're also now getting into that the thick of really kind of trying to sort out league playoffs for softball and baseball too.
And that'll be coming up next week. Actually, this week Colonial League will open their baseball softball playoffs on the softball on Friday, the baseball on Saturday. Eastern Pennsylvania Conference is the same setup. They have softball on Friday, baseball on Saturday, and we had 2 baseball teams make the Colonial League playoffs. Palmerton will be playing in a quarterfinal game on Saturday. They're playing at 10 a.m. against Southern Lehigh. That game's going to be in Lineport. The winner of that game will play Northwestern, who got a bye into the semifinal round. So Tigers are there again in the playoffs. And in the softball playoffs, Palmerton and Southern Lehigh will also be playing there. That's a 6 o'clock game Friday night at Pates Park, and the winner of that will play Tuesday against Northern Lehigh, who received the first round bye.
Yeah, so we've been kind of talking about a lot of those teams throughout much of the season, and now now they get a chance to kind of, I don't know, I guess it's that first sort of taste of postseason action.
Right, you get districts coming up the following week, so a chance to get a title and get some playoff experience and momentum, and take it into the district playoffs. We also had a Pleasant Valley baseball. We're waiting on the Eastern Pennsylvania Conference. They have 3 or 4 of their teams have regular season games left yet today, Thursday, as we're taping this. So their playoff schedule won't come out until tomorrow, but we anticipate Pleasant Valley getting in as the 8th seed, which will put them probably against number 1 seed in powerhouse Emmaus.
So, I mean, obviously, but again, you know that seeds don't always hold true, and
baseball is one of those sports where it probably holds true the less, just because one really good pitching performance can take an 8th seed over a 1 seed.
So that's one of those things where, again, you just kind of throw the records out, throw the seeds out the window, and sort of play the game and see what happens. But that's on the EPC Colonial League front, and we're still sort of, I guess, sifting through, waiting for some more things to come in for the Schuylkill League as well.
Right, Schuylkill League had their meeting this morning, haven't announced their playoff pairings yet. We heard it's going to be semifinals Monday and finals Wednesday as opposed to the normal Tuesday, Thursday, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But Marion has already qualified for the Schuylkill League baseball playoffs as a Division III champ.
Yeah.
I assume that's probably going to put them against Division I champ Blue Mountain. Schuylkill Haven, also another really good team. It was the Division II champ. The one thing the Schuylkill League is waiting on is there was a 3-way tie for the wild card spot in Division I, and Tamaqua is among those 3 teams tied. So what they're going to do, they're playing a doubleheader Friday night up in Pine Grove. Did a coin toss. Tamaqua actually got the bye of the 3 teams, so North Schuylkill and Pottsville are going to be playing at 4:30. Winner of that will come right back, play right after that, 7 o'clock, we'll play Tamaqua, and whoever survives that 3-team playoff will be the 4th and final team in the Schuylkill League playoffs next week.
So still kind of looking through that for for baseball and softball on the Schuylkill League front. But speaking of seeds and things like that, you think about what we had earlier this week in the district doubles tennis with the Palmerton pair of Nate Andrus and Mattis Vilhoun. I mean, going into the doubles tournament, 2A, not seeded, they played extremely well.
And we talked about it before the tournament, you and I, and we talked about how well they were both, Nate and Mattis, were playing as singles, and we thought that could be a dangerous team going into the doubles tournament. You were down there Monday, and it proved to be true.
Yeah, they got another unseeded opponent from Wilson in the first round, a convincing 6-0 victory, and then they got a seeded team, the number 8 seed, a team from Notre Dame East Stroudsburg, and they played a perfect match. I mean, they just kind of picked them apart, and they just played to their strengths. Sort of had a lot of unforced errors. Forced them to. I think they frustrated. Notre Dame East Stroudsburg, and just kind of played their game, played to their strengths, and they played super well together to get a victory to advance to the quarterfinals.
Right. And even in the quarterfinals, they played the top seeded team, and they put a really nice showing on. I think it was 3-3, 6-3, 6-3.
So it's not
And which was a tougher game that team from Saucon is playing today for the district championship. But the Palmerton team, actually, if you go by scores, gave them even a harder batter than they had in the semifinal, because that's a really good Saucon Valley team.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I was able to talk to both of them, and just kind of thinking about just how they were individually. They both made it to the second round of the singles tournament, but together they were, everything that maybe we thought they would be and then
More,
some.
yeah.
And you don't really know because they didn't play doubles together all season,
No.
so you don't know the chemistry and the way they're going to work together. But they were able to click kind of right away. So
A nice way to cap your season, going out with
Oh,
a nice
yeah.
performance like that.
yeah, so that was great. Yeah, so we're
in postseason mode.
and it'll only ramp up over the next week or two with leagues kind of coming together, and then districts.
Track
and,
is Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
League playoffs are going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If any teams are fortunate enough in baseball, softball to get that far, and then the next week we have district playoffs in baseball and softball. We'll be having state track coming up in a little bit.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, so a lot
So-
going on.
It'll be a busy next couple of weeks, so definitely tune in again next week, and we'll have more coverage and updates on how everything's going across baseball, softball, and track. Anything else for you this week?
No, I think we're good.
All right. So for Emmett McCall, I'm Patrick Mancinko. Thank you again for tuning in to TN Sports Chat, presented by Lehigh Valley Health Network.